Hey guys, it's bread season. Right now in the crypto space, there's a lot of uncertainty. At the time of this video, it's about June 17th, 2023. Right now, the SEC is going after everything. They're in a lawsuit with XRP, they're suing Binance, they're in a lawsuit with Coinbase both ways. They've listed 20 of some of the top, 20 or more of the top cryptocurrencies um, in lawsuits, calling them securities. It's been a bear market for, wow, about what, 2 years now? There's just a lot of uncertainty. And it's a scary time. This is probably the first time in crypto that this much legal action has been taken by the government or by the SEC. So it's a very uncertain time. However, this last week, I kind of added up a couple factors and a couple things popped into my mind where I'm thinking, wow, I don't see a bull market happening in the next, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, but there's some strong indicators for a bull run to happen again within the next, you know, you can never obviously put an exact date on it, but um, I would say 2024, early 2025. And I'm going to explain some of these um, factors that have made me extremely bullish on a next bull run. I know sometimes when we're in a bear market, it seems like a bull market is never going to come. I remember in 2019, it just being such a, for the most part, um, kind of a sideways year, fake ups and then some downs. And then it just seemed like we were in the desert and there were some times where it felt like a bull run would never happen again. And I know right now kind of might, today might feel the same, but I'm going to explain to you some factors that make me extremely optimistic. Obviously, this video isn't financial advice, and this isn't like a shill video, like hopium, like oh let's pray. Um, I just have four things here that really give me light at the end of the tunnel. So not in any specific order. Um, the top one being the Federal Reserve has, for the first time in 15 months, um, paused interest rate increases. We've had to deal with that for the last year and a half. It's been a major headwind for crypto, stocks as well, but crypto more specifically because it's a more volatile asset. So when interest rates, are being increased and liquidity is being taken out of the market, all that excess liquidity that was out there isn't there anymore, and a lot of that was investing in crypto. Excuse me. Also, when interest rates rise, bond prices obviously rise. And as those bonds, you know, their return becomes more valuable, it's a safer asset than crypto. So if the bond prices are higher and you're getting a higher return on your investment to hold bonds, money is more likely to flow that way into safer assets than crypto. Now, when bond prices are low and you can't get a good return on your money investing in bonds, a lot of people flock to riskier assets like crypto to get a return. But, as a lot of investors and see it, hey, if bonds are whatever, 5% or 6%, whatever they may be, it's an extremely safe asset compared to crypto. So as bonds become more attractive, capital flows from riskier assets to those safer assets that are now producing a decent return. So who knows if the Federal Reserve's gonna, I don't foresee them decreasing rates anytime soon, unless something breaks in like the banking sector or something and they have to, or the economy. But this is a major headwind that has seemed to come to a at least pause for now. And yeah, it's just decreasing the headwinds by not having these rate increases. So somewhat of a positive sign. Like I said, it's more of not having that headwind against us. Kind of went into here on why rising interest rates um, affect assets like crypto and stocks. Okay, right now, this has been going on for what, 2 years now? XRP, Ripple, and the SEC, a lot wasn't really disclosed the last couple years. Obviously, in court hearings, a lot isn't disclosed to the public, but there's a lot of positive signs pointing towards Ripple and XRP. You never know. Maybe they won't win the case, but maybe there'll be a settlement or something. But what I'm getting at here, um, is possibly for the first time in the history of cryptocurrency, we may have some actual kind of guidance. For example, um, well, there really isn't any clarity right now from the SEC, and with the SEC suing XRP took them to court. We're getting close to some kind of verdict or settlement, which, like I said, for the first time would give crypto some kind of, how can I say this, clarity. It may not be a total outright win for Ripple, but with this court case being finalized, like I said, for the first time, we could actually get some clarity on how to move crypto projects forward. So, yeah, it may not be a total outright win for Ripple. It may be. I can see the market going crazy, or at least XRP if that happens. But can you imagine if this lawsuit gets settled in any way, whether it's a victory or settlement? Um, Having some kind of clarity right now to move the industry forward, I believe is a really, really positive thing. And this could be the first time that that's happened. So clarity is is key for confidence. Lack of clarity is a reason why a lot of investors won't get into cryptocurrency because they're not sure. You know, um, so yeah, let's not beat on that topic anymore. We're looking at clarity there, hopefully for the industry soon. A lot of you have heard about this. BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, has recently filed for a Bitcoin ETF. A lot of people are super skeptical of the timing. Every other Bitcoin ETF has been denied. And now that the SEC is suing every project and exchange in sight, now here comes the largest asset manager ready to file for their ETF. Um, it's very fishy to a lot of people, understandably. But either way, if this does get approved, this is going to be massive for Bitcoin and the crypto industry as a whole. It's going to give legitimacy to the industry, at least for Bitcoin, which rising tide rises all boats. So if the world's largest asset manager does get an ETF approved, like this says, that would allow investors to get exposure to the cryptocurrency. This could be huge. I mean, we're talking about, possibly billions and billions of dollars of money being poured into Bitcoin. So BlackRock doesn't just do things flimsily, if that's a word. Obviously, if they're going to put the time and effort into this, they believe they have a good shot at getting approved. And if they do so, they know that there's investor demand. They're not just going to create a product like this as the world's largest asset manager if their clients are demanding it. So they know something we don't, it seems. They could possibly have billions and billions and billions of dollars of their investors' capital waiting for the floodgates to open. So, not a obviously guarantee that it will get approved, but I have a feeling that when the world's largest asset manager takes a swing, they're pretty confident they can knock it out of the park. So, this could be super, super positive. Maybe it gets approved soon. Maybe it takes a couple months. One of the biggest, you know, most bull runs coordinate with the Bitcoin halving. Excuse me. Every 4 years, the amount of Bitcoin um, rewards that get distributed to Bitcoin miners via the inflation rate gets cut in half. This is going to happen um, April or May next year. So we're looking at what, like 10 months 11 months from now. Um, and really, what's going on is when the amount of Bitcoin being released to miners gets cut in half, they have half the supply that they can put on the market to sell for. So for having, a similar demand level we are now or higher, but the supply that's being sold on the open market by miners is cut in half. Um, Bull markets always, you know, coordinate with the timing of the halving. I remember last halving, however you want to say it. I remember last halving, right before the halving, people kind of invested ahead of the gun, so to speak. So, I'm looking for really, I wouldn't be surprised that I'm going to be watching for a couple months before the halving event. People are already starting to invest and we see a pump. Not guaranteed, obviously, but, right here, um, every happening, every halving event has historically resulted in a bull run for Bitcoin. The prices rise as supply decreases, so super huge. So what we're looking at here, we're looking at right now the pause in Federal Reserve interest rates raises. Maybe there's no more next year. This XRP settlement or verdict could happen in the next couple months. BlackRock could have their ETF approved in the next couple months, and then the halving is kind of earlyish next year. So you really have these like four events coinciding with each other within the next year or so here. And a lot of these things could be super, super bullish for cryptocurrency. So obviously we'll have to wait and see. A lot of this could not pan out, but um, 2024, early 2025 kind of would coordinate with what has typically been the schedule for bull markets, every like 4 or so years, right around the halving time. So if all these events can coordinate with the halving or before the halving, could you imagine all four scenarios playing out? The Federal Reserve not increasing rates, not driving liquidity towards bonds as much, there being some settlements or verdicts, so there's some clarity in crypto. Can you imagine the BlackRock ETF getting approved like early next year, increasing the demand for Bitcoin? And then can you imagine right after that, the Bitcoin halving decreasing the supply? And if you get a massive increase in Bitcoin, rising tide lifts all boats. Like I said, what's good for Bitcoin and the industry is going to drive capital to a lot of other investments like ETH and down the line in value. So I know right now is a very unsettling time, but there's a lot to look forward to as I've demonstrated here. So we'll see. I'm positive though.